Hey, welcome back to the Virgo channel. My name is Laura. If you're new to the channel, I'm going to do a general message for Virgo. Know that energy is fluid. Roles could be reversed. Always interpret the message as it best resonates with you. If you're new to the channel, also know I like to look at everything. So we don't just look at what goes on the surface. No, no, no. We also look at the spiritual blocks, the shadows, and see how they play out as karmic themes within your experience. Now, if you want to enter into winning free reading with me, you need to take that to heart and to mind. And you also have to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and write the word of the video in your comment bar. The word of the video is always the underlining energy that tells me why everybody's doing what they're doing. Because when you're dealing with people that have spiritual blocks, very rarely are they coming from their true self, their higher self. A lot of times they don't even know what their true self and their higher self is. A lot of times when we go through traumatic experience, we actually, there's so much anxiety, right? Again, when we enter in back into a new relationship or again, go back into a similar situation, it activates memories and also the feeling of those memories, which a lot of times is overstimulating. I'm kind of feeling like you're in separation from somebody that um, is actually like going through an experience that is reminding them of another traumatic experience, which you're not feeling this person at all. You're not feeling this person at all. And the reason why is because, again, your mind can't be in two places at one time. And when we're going through another traumatic experience, what are we looking for? Well, again, a lot of times we shut down. We completely shut down into the fight, flight, or freeze. Well, I feel like this person's frozen. So you can be like, well, like I've been separated from this person. They're not doing anything. Well, again, I feel like things are happening. They're just not happening between you and them. And really, this is a good thing because when a person's life is falling apart, it's not because it just voluntarily fell apart. It's because it wasn't built on truth. It wasn't built on God's laws. God's laws are always what's best for everyone involved, not just what's best for some people. Again, every person that you interact with, there needs to be like an equal energy exchange. And you may be like, well, when I go through relationships, I get a negative, you know. Well, it's again, we look at things from a spiritual perspective. So, did you learn from that person? Yes. Was it equally as important as what you tried to teach the person that you connected with that was karmic? Yes, you just taught unconditional love that was a love that you like to experience. What you experienced from this person was an unconditional love that is full of wounds from the experiences that they went through. But does that undervalue their feelings? No, but feelings are, again, aren't concrete, they're fluid. And so I feel like there was a lot of I look down and I see aggression. So again, aggression. So that's again, whenever you hit a trigger, right? That's what happens. You're awakening something that needs to be healed. But if a person never looks at it and they just suppress it, well, they're gonna run from it. They're gonna do everything to you know, to drown out that feeling, whether that's drink too much, smoke too much, get into another relationship, whatever it is. So let's see why I felt all that and why that was a channel. And what does that have to do with anything? And what the word of the video is. Okay, let's see what the word of the video is. The word of the video is, well, we got this one yesterday. Stubbornness. So I guess the person is still being stubborn, but whenever we get that, I mean, it's not uncommon if you're doing videos every day, the person's mood is not going to change. Sometimes people stay stuck. When they're stuck in a certain mindset, you're stuck in a certain energy. It's probably building on the storyline that you probably didn't even want to hear. Anyway, let's pull another card to be like, okay, tell us something else. Impatient. Impatient. Oh, so I feel as if this person feels again the same way. feels like that again, you're being stubborn, that and in the fact that you're being stubborn because they feel like inevitably things are going to work out between you and them. And I don't know why they feel that way. I guess it's because there is soul connection, and that soul connection, it's claircognizance. It's like knowing. That's what claircognizance is. It's that psychic ability that we all actually have. However, we tend to like not believe ourselves, not listen to it. It gets drowned out. Well, anyway, I feel like again, your person is like it's like waiting for you. There's a sense like they're waiting for you to come back, and what they're seeing is you're not coming back. And that's why they're impatient. And they're actually feeling like you were impatient and then you gave up. And that's the thing. When a person plays a game for a long time where they hold back. And they hold back as a form of emotionally manipulation, which is what I feel like you and this person were in for a long time. Everyone gets wisdom. Everyone gets wisdom. And the wisdom is that higher knowledge. For you, I feel like to learn what unconditional love is. I mean, when you still have a connection to someone, but they act like that, like so stubborn and so rigid thinking to the point that the relationship doesn't even matter. What matters is if you win. And that's almost like what I feel like your person did. They're used to, like, again, attachments. And part of their attachments is that it's like I create this dynamic where you will need to become subservient to me, where you need to again, but it's like having the sickest person, like the person that doesn't know how to drive, the person that drives the worst drive the bus, if you listen to this person, because they're full of wounds. But understand a person that is full of wounds, they need to control. And so what they do is they emotionally manipulate. And what they came across is that you were like, I'm done. It's like I'm not going to sit here in this low vibration with you, where like you're going to hold back from me, and it's like really for what? It's like it's a mind game, and that's what I feel like. But that's what attachments are. Attachments. This person tends to go for people that they perceive don't know their value. And so, let's see, let's change it up and see what this person really feels about you now, because obviously, like, they're waiting for you to come back, but I kind of feel like they have a lot of different emotions. I'm not going to lie. Like part of them feels like I miss you and I care about you. Then part of them is really frustrated and they're mad because understand you're making them look at the mask, you're making them look at their behavior. They feel guilty. Understand this person doesn't like to feel guilty. They don't like to feel the emotions that actually are stuck inside of them. I mean, stubbornness is a sign of like I want to get my way. I want to, and in that you lose the whole point of, the connection, the relationship, and this is what this person is seeing. It's like I played the game for too long to the point that you don't really even care about me anymore. You don't like me anymore, and this is what they're feeling. That's why they're getting like impatient because it's part of the anxiety. I don't think this person expected you to like detach from yourself, detached from the relationship. Sometimes I stay awake thinking about you. Yeah, because I understand it's like this relationship is making them look at their behavior and they feel guilt. And so understand the different emotions that people can get confused for as love. Where I feel like this person like confuses guilt for love. So like and it's not that they I think that they unconsciously create experiences that they feel guilty about, and then they form these attachments, and these attachments are like ways to feel connected because they don't really feel like they can connect. And so understand, like, that's why I said this person in their stubbornness, they wouldn't let you get close to them. It was a way of, again, fearing because this person needs to control. I don't feel that you were trying to control. I think that you're hyper aware of when a person is treating you well and when a person is not treating you well. And because you've been in bad situations before, you know what to look for. But Spirit says you're still hyper aware of it, and unconsciously you're waiting for it and you're looking for it, which is making you a magnet of who and what is coming into your life. So understand, that's part of the reason why. But this person does love you. Maybe like, I don't believe it. Understand, only God loves perfect. When a person has a lot of wounds, they don't know how to love you because they don't know how to love themselves. So this person's way of loving is control. It's like, I want to make sure that things are going to work out. So I'm going to control it. This way it does work out, but the focus is that it's not going to be able to, work out. That this person has to get involved. Where the universe is like, don't do my job. Do your own job. Become yourself. All that craziness is room that this person has not created themselves. They're stuck in this survival. They're stuck in survival, so they unconsciously recreate the same undesirable life experiences. And so as they feel you move further and further and further away, the more and more anxiety that they get, the more and more impatient that they're going to get, the more and more emotional that this person's going to get. And I don't think that they're emotionally intelligent, because if we don't deal with the trauma, it's not that there aren't emotions attached to that. It means that there are suppressed emotions. And so what happens is another experience happens. And it happens because unconsciously this person creates it within their relationships. And so you're just another person that they created this within their relationships, which is solidifying why they don't believe that they can have love, but they unconsciously creating that. You were the best thing in my life. And you'd be like, I doubt that. Well, understand, person, it's very difficult to be able to really see that with the person that's emotionally not intelligent. They are not going to show their emotions because they don't want to show vulnerability. So it's like, it doesn't mean in their mind, in their imagination, they're not creating it. This person's not attached. And it doesn't mean that they don't want it. It means that they're, I want it, but there's a part of me that really doesn't believe that I can have it. So I control. And in my control, I'm really not fair, because really that's what it is. When you're being controlling, you're only looking at things from your perception. And then you're making judgments about how things are happening. And then that's what happens, what triggers trust issues. So this person being in the relationship with them is very difficult, but it doesn't mean that they don't love. And there is a deity part of self, which is God part of self, which is like, I felt like this person loved me. And it's like, because they did. It's like, so you're like, well, it's a 3-ring freaking circus. I remember every detail of this day. I feel like this person kind of lives in the past. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. Now, it doesn't mean that they didn't do, like I said, like that they didn't trigger you. They did. That's why you're not in their life. So let's see how they triggered you. Because when we have a situation like this, we see a person that has a lot of shadows. They try to control the entire relationship because, hey, I don't really know how to be in a relationship. I only know how to create attachments. Well, look and see why. However, you have to see again, first of all, like what really pissed you off is it's like, that you do things wrong. You know that you disrespect me, and then you don't apologize. That's what held me you back. You stayed away from Virgo, almost like this is you, Virgo. You stayed away from me because you didn't want to apologize. You were being self-righteous. And that's what became more important than what was going on in my life, that I could have used you by my side. instead of building a relationship with me that would have created intimacy and trust. Instead, you deliberately sabotage the relationship by holding back and making me not trust you. Because emotionally, where were you for me? And all because you didn't want to apologize. Because you didn't want to seem vulnerable. You didn't feel that you had to act like a big, strong person or a big, smarter person. It became all about that. No wonder why the person's impatient. They're waiting for you to come back. Well, I don't think you're coming. Why would you come back if they need to apologize? See, a little craziness there. It's like almost like you have to prove yourself how much you love me, which is ridiculous because in my proving, in your proving, this is you, Virgo, in my proving, I have to undervalue myself. It's like, and this is again the problem when people are not healed. It's like they expect you to overcompensate because they're going to undercompensate, or they'll overcompensate where they shouldn't overcompensate. Instead of coming from the true self, the higher self, which is all about unconditional love, we can feel that. We can feel that every single one is. And when it's like, hey, I understand like what you mean, that it creates intimacy, it creates trust. You show up. You show up for me. It's like you didn't want to show up. You deliberately didn't want to show up. What are you telling me? And then you're waiting for me to come back and apologize. So I have to disrespect myself. This is the game that you play because you want to control the situation. That's a bad second chakra imbalance that we got going on there. Because you don't need to control when you know who the hell you are. Through your unique individuality, you go with the flow of life. You don't have to control. There's an unfoldment process that's happening through the thoughts that you think, the emotions that you have. You're always co-creating with God, which is the universe. Through, again, how you're giving and receiving of love, the path unfolds because that's your spiritual sovereignty. That's your spiritual right. That's God's gift to you that you're able to do it. And this is how this person is. We see why trauma needs to be healed, because you think someone wants to live like that? No one wants to live like that. And I'm telling you that we're going to pull cards to see how this person feels now. Trauma. Well, I mean, we already knew this, that they have unresolved trauma. Okay. Then I said that before. Tell us something that we don't know. Tell us something we don't know. Okay, let's pull 3 from this card. Tell us a little bit more. Again, just deliberately being thoughtless. This person's not even mindful of their own behaviors, and that happens too. Because when we have trauma, we go in and out of consciousness a lot. We go into daydream land. And so this person a lot of times reacts from past experiences that were traumatic. Understand, when we're out of consciousness and someone triggers us, well, again, we're going to react, and that's this person. So you felt like sometimes I wouldn't even say anything. This person would just get like annoyed. Well, unconsciously, they were looking for problems, because that's what people that are traumatized do. And then we see what we look for. If I followed you around all day, I could imagine things. If you followed me around all day, you'd be like, what the fuck? It's like, but it's again, we see what we look for. It's not true. It's a reality of your truth. However, is that the truth? No, we don't know what the other person is thinking or what the other person is doing. It's again this reckless behavior. Oh, look, the wrong card. Okay, defensiveness. Again, not letting you in. That's the thing of, I don't want you to see this. What do you think, I'm inadequate? Do you think I'm inadequate? That's the defensiveness. So it's like, I'll try and have a conversation with someone like that. And you always just felt like this person never really was in, right? Never really was in. And then relationships, this person just doesn't like, every relationship like ends in ruins. because this is how they conduct themselves. So if you want to control it, and it's because this person is extremely needy, okay, extremely needy. So, and that's because they have unhealed trauma. So, this, can we go a little bit deeper, or is there anything else that we can know about this? Because you'd be like, great, so what am I supposed to do with this energy? And so, understand if it's something funny that we could say, well, this can't be rectified, because the person's like needs too much healing. I mean, that's not this person's reality, though. So we have to see what is their reality. Do they think that they could fix this? Do they want to fix this? There's an ego part of self that we want to know that part too, because that's part of your healing. Well, this person wanted to, but listen, they were a hot mess and I couldn't do anything about it. However, why did the universe bring this person into my life? What am I supposed to learn? Because obviously, if I don't learn it, I'm going to get someone exactly like this or have elements of this behavior that you know, clearly I couldn't do anything about. But hey, I'm learning what unconditional love is. I don't like that person at all, but there is love there. There is an understanding there. And I thank them for the lesson and I release them. Otherwise then they become an attachment to you. Like, how dare you made me broken, where no one can break you. No one can ruin you. So let's see, is there anything deeper? I feel abandoned. I often feel like others let me down, but meanwhile, they're the ones that let everyone down. But they feel like they're not loved. So of course they feel abandoned. Because again, then what happens is they get in their own way, which when we're not coming from like our conscious self and we're going in and out of consciousness, and then we get triggered by something in a relationship. And that something could be you picking up your phone, to answering your phone, to talking on your phone, to the tone in your voice, to any little craziness that triggers this person, then they react. And then instead of apologizing, which is what we see, they didn't apologize, which they should have, they wanted you to come back. You didn't come back. So now now they're like, oh, now I feel abandoned by you. It's like you abandoned yourself because your pride got in the way. How about that, smarty one? Oh, that's what happened. They're not feeling that smart now. Our destiny is calling. Preparations are underway to take the next step. So I don't know if that's separate or whether that's together, but this person knows that they need, like, their destiny is not to stay stuck. Their destiny, I feel like on some levels, does feel like you're connected to it somehow. Now, maybe not to be together, but it could be also as like a guiding light, because you were like, I'm not having this bullshit, and I'm not going to stick around either for it. So the person has to learn and they have to look at their behavior and change. And that's again, so that they can be prepared for the next relationship. Or it could be, well, I really do believe that we're supposed to be together. And I need, like, part of like preparation is the healing process. I can't keep moving forward in this situation because I always wind up unhappy. I always wind up being alone. I always wind up, and that's really what happens when a person gets in their own way and they don't believe that they can have love. They just continually sabotage the connections through ridiculousness. You wouldn't apologize? Really, for some nonsense, if you just would have said, I just got triggered. No, I can't show any type of weakness. Yeah. But that's why this happened. Our inner children need to come first. So if this person knows that they need to heal their inner child. That is like, that's what the preparations, like, you really fully need to heal. You can't go into a relationship. Now again, whether this person's going to be with you or not, they know this needs to be healed, because if I sabotage this was the connection I really wanted. If I sabotage this, Like, it's definitely, I'm definitely gonna feel it, number one, but number two, um, this relationship taught me that I really don't want to be alone. That I can have a healthy relationship. I don't have to make things the same way. Um, whether like either way, you're gonna leave this person in better standing, is what I'm getting at. And this is the deeper reason. I need to be strong in who I am to merge my energy with yours in the 3D. I'm afraid I could lose myself in this relationship. So I feel like, again, there is a sense of every single other relationship I wind up getting myself in, leave in ruins. And the reason why is because I lose myself in the connection. And the reason why is because this person has a lot of spiritual blocks that need to be integrated. And it comes out within their behaviorisms. And every time they sabotage a connection through stupid shit like this, it's again, there's a sense of like, no one loves me. It's again, but this person abandons themselves by not doing the healing work that they need to do. So that's why it's like preparations. And again, like they're saying, I need to heal. I need to heal my inner child. When I heal my inner child, I'll be strong in myself. I won't lose myself in you, and then I won't destroy the connection, because that's essentially what happens. If this person gets into a relationship, they don't believe that they can have love, they overcompensate, they overgive, they overdo, they completely lose themselves. And because they're codependent, because shadows are not a person. And you can't live from that low consciousness. You're not going to manifest anything, not anything of any worth anyway. It's not going to be built on. So, again, a long time, this person, you know, how they boosted their self-esteem is by, acquiring things or being connected to certain people, but again, not authentic, not real. So essentially, that's what's happening here. This person is saying, like, either way, whether I'm going to be with you or I'm going to be with somebody else. But if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have looked at this situation. I would have went, it took a very strong, deep connection. So we understand why. I feel like the chemistry between us, we need to trust that the energy we share will bring us back together again. So this person is leaving it to fate. Like, they're like, if there's still unconditional love, if there's still a spiritual connection, if there still is, then I couldn't have fucked this thing up, because unconditional love never dies. And now this person might be completely far-fetched and feel like, well, it never dies, but that doesn't mean that you need to be with this person. But I think what they're saying is, I need to heal myself. I'm not ready to be in a relationship, but I believe that we have a strong enough connection that if you're free, like, and that maybe, well, we can do this again. Like, they're leaving it somewhat open. They're not just saying, oh, no, forget it, because they're saying that chemistry is still there. That unconditional love is still there. It's not gone. It's just, did I damage it so much? That's why they're waiting for you to come back, because there's a part of them that knows that they did. So they're like, I wouldn't be able to handle the rejection. I wouldn't be able to handle the rejection. You got to come back to me. But I'm getting impatient because I don't believe you're going to come back. And it's really, you're like, I'm not going to come back to you. You got to come back to me. And they're like, I got to leave it to chance. I got to leave this to the universe because they're insecure. Again, but again, there's still a strong connection. So I feel like because there's still a strong connection, like again, counterpart, yeah, I hate to tell you, I know for those of you that's like, no, I don't want to take this person back. It's like, it's like, yeah, like I feel like they're gonna reach out to you through social media. They're gonna speak up. They're gonna say something. I do believe that this person is gonna come back to you. Um, I don't know how, um, because it's again, they're too stuck in grief. They're like, again, really sad about it, of it not working out. They feel like it's death. They feel like it's over. They feel like you're not interested. Like you're over, like their game of holding back and playing this stupid thing like destroyed the relationship. And that's what they're like. I'm like, I didn't really mean it. Yeah, their intuition. They're coming again into their intuition. They're letting their intuition and there's lead them. So they're getting out of that survival mind. So I do believe that this person is going to reach out to you again. Um, yeah, because there's a sense of them, you know, wanting. I feel like wanting to make sure, like, was this real? Was this real, or was this an illusion? Was this an optical illusion? Was this like, is it real? Like, and this is unconditional love that, like, will you be willing to even talk to me? Did I destroy this? And I kind of feel like they needed to destroy it in order to see. This person's just so, um, they're really afraid of the rejection. So I feel like they may not be as strong as they come back. So like they're gonna come back because they want to see, but they're gonna let their intuition like see whether or not they might not come back and say, I'm really sorry. I'm really, because I feel like they're still a little bit like with their ego, but there's still a connection. There's still a very strong connection. So this person isn't like, that's their lesson, I feel like. It's like, hey, like, could this really be unconditional love? Because if this person really feels abandoned by people, they need to see that they're the person that abandons the relationship, not you. And that is what they're kind of seeing, because they're like, I did all this stuff. You've cut yourself off from me, but I still feel a connection to you. And I don't believe that this person has strong connections. I think that trauma has made them believe that it's just not possible. And so they continually get in their own way. And what they're seeing is, hey, when things are built on from when it's real, when it's a divine love, and divine love doesn't necessarily mean you wind up with this person, is what spirit believes brings into your life to help you heal. And that's really what it's all about, to come to a place of unconditional love, that this person is saying, I still have feelings for you and I can still feel you. And that's still really real. So we have to say, well, that's great for them, but why did you attract this person into your life? Because I don't believe that they're figuring it out. They are going to come back. They are, but I feel like I don't know if they know exactly when. I feel like it's when the grief just gets to the point that they can't and they really start to flip out. Like life is changing for you and that they don't feel your energy anymore. And then they're gonna like hold back because they're still a little bit in their ego. Like, well, I'm gonna wait for you, but I'm getting impatient. But like I said, they can only hold back for so long. And what they're seeing is from them holding back, you're cutting your energy off. Like again, obviously life happens. And in that they're really gonna lose out. So we have to say again, why did you attract this person into your life? And it's again innocence. Let me see. Time and attention, frustration, I'm about to take 4 today, and abuse. So I feel like again, obviously time and attention is always, we need to put time and attention into ourselves. We need to learn a little bit of self-love, but I feel like when you were younger, again, innocence is knowing what unconditional love is, that there was a lot of abuse. And the abuse wasn't just that you didn't just get time and attention. I feel like you had someone in your life that literally made things difficult for you. and it was frustrating. And I feel like this person kind of triggered a lot of those memories and feelings into the situation. So what needed to be really healed was, like I said, healing the abuse through giving yourself time and attention, and really understanding that you couldn't change this person by being there. You had to change yourself, because I feel like the frustration a lot of times is that when we grow up in an imbalanced environment, we try to change that environment and it never changes, obviously. We try to change, we need to change ourselves. See, we would even try and change ourselves, but the root cause would be, again, to support the family. So in a way, we abandoned ourselves. So it's all about giving yourself the love. And I feel like too, like if you had parents that, or the environment was not, didn't make you feel secure, well, again, a lot of your survival would be dependent on giving, on doing for again, to create the balance. And then, so if your parents were in a really bad relationship, if there wasn't enough money, if there wasn't enough time, well, again, that time and attention goes towards helping the family, not creating yourself. So then what happens is there's always a feeling of inadequacy. And if we're trying to create from a place of inadequacy, it's really frustrating because we're not getting the results that we want. We have to come from our true self, and our true self is not to live in survival. So I almost feel like the innocence was taken. And so to go back to the innocence is really to go back to being like a child. And the way to go back to being a child is to like have a love affair with yourself. I always say, it's like, do you know what stirs up your soul? Do you know, where do you lose your time, your energy, your focus, and your money? Because those are the vehicles of the root chakra. And wherever you put your time, energy, focus, and your money, it'll grow. And it'll grow where it creates a path that is just for you. So if you're someone that's like, I don't know what my soul's path is, you got to put, again, the time, the energy, the focus, and the money into yourself. And that's through, again, being a child, having a love affair with yourself. Be like childlike. Because children don't look and see what's in their environment and say, oh, it's not going to work. It's not enough. They don't look at why things won't work. They see how the broken box is a treehouse. They see how, the tires off a broken bicycle can become a swing. They see how, the land of imagination, that's a psychic realm. You can imagine it, you can create it. You just also got to embody it, the emotion, in order to create it so you can become a magnet to it, which means time and attention towards yourself. Love yourself, time and attention towards yourself. That integrates the abuse. And again, that also deals with frustration, understanding that everything's in divine order. A lot of times, as we're on our path, we are meeting people and situations and experiences that bring up, again, memories that are difficult, and remind us of relationships that were difficult, give us an opportunity to work with that difficult energy again. And I feel like that's kind of like this. There were certain things that happened in your environment that, like, I feel like you were brought up by somebody that was really rigid. Someone that displayed the same, like, I'm not going to apologize to you because I don't really believe that, like, you're that important. I'll get like getting some arrogant energy, some difficult energy. And I feel like as a child, you kept trying to give and give and give your love to this person. So that, and have them give you the love back that you needed. And that was so frustrating. It was so frustrating because they didn't give it back. And it's so hurtful, so confusing, and in a way abusive, again, emotionally abusive, because that person again knew. but they were so angry. So then that trauma plays out again as being with a person that is displaying the same exact shit, bringing up all that stuff. Then you get a deeper look and you say, wow, that person does love me. That's the way that they love. And that's not really the way that I need to be loved. It's like that doesn't really work for me. And Spirit says, that's right. Time and attention goes to you. You gotta pass that spiritual test. And that person needs to learn what their karma is. Again, because they can't keep like keeping relationships in ruins, they have to learn the buck stops here. We gotta get over the unhealthy habits and behaviorism. Enough is enough. Otherwise, again, because that's really what the sabotaging behaviorism is. It's like, look at what you do. It's like change your core beliefs, change, heal. Because all unhealthy habits really and behaviorisms come from feeling out of balance, emotionally, psychologically. And then we ask, for you, anything. Trust. I trust life and my strength. Each moment guides me to the light. Everything on my path is placed there for my growth. So this person, again, is all there to help you heal, to evolve into the best version of yourself, and to awaken certain things within inside of you, which again, giving yourself time and attention, giving yourself love, and understanding that when we try to make people that we love us the way that we need to be loved, it doesn't work. And that's what your person tried to do. You, again, kind of tried to do it too by sticking around, being like, no, I know that you love me, but it's gotta, where this person's like, only knows how to do this because they haven't figured it out themselves. So, I mean, it was definitely a valuable lesson. Definitely, like, again, not exactly the easiest lesson, but what you learned is this is what unconditional love is, and this person helped me along my path. I'm gonna leave that there, Virgo. You let me know whether you resonated. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.